For years, fans of the hit reality show Pawn Stars have laughed along with Austin Chumlee Russell, the lovable, often hilarious, and surprisingly savvy sidekick at the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. But behind the jokes and playful antics was a man quietly building a fortune that no one saw coming. And now, that fortune, left behind in a stunning twist, has left his family in tears, for reasons nobody expected. Chumlee wasn't always the star of the show. In fact, when Pawn Stars first aired back in 2009, most people assumed he was just comic relief. The goofball, the jokester, the guy who'd somehow turn every simple negotiation into a punchline. But beneath that laid-back personality was a clever collector and surprisingly shrewd businessman. While Rick Harrison, Corey, Big Hoss, and the old man were busy haggling over antiques and artifacts, Chumlee was quietly amassing a personal collection of rare sneakers, vintage pinball machines, and one-of-a-kind pop culture memorabilia, items that, over the years, would skyrocket in value. By the mid-2010s, Chumlee had become a fan favorite and a self-made millionaire, investing his reality TV earnings into property, rare collectibles, and niche businesses. His net worth quietly grew to an estimated $5 million. But it wasn't the fortune itself that would one day bring his family to tears. In a heartfelt move few people knew about, Chumlee began making arrangements for the people he loved most. Without any media attention, he set up trusts, personal gifts and handwritten letters for each family member and close friend. What he was quietly building wasn't just a financial safety net, it was a legacy. It wasn't until a health scare in 2021 that Chumlee finalized what would later be described as a legacy letter, a heartfelt message accompanied by instructions on how his fortune should be handled if anything ever happened to him. It wasn't something he talked about often, even with those closest to him, but perhaps the most surprising part was that Chumlee had earmarked a massive portion of his wealth not just for his family, but for children's hospitals, animal shelters, and scholarship programs in his hometown. When his family learned of these generous plans, they were overcome with emotion. One family member reportedly said, "We knew he was kind-hearted, but we had no idea he'd been quietly setting all of this up for years." Chumlee had always played the clown on television, but behind the scenes, he was a man who valued loyalty, kindness, and giving back to those less fortunate. And though his fortune was impressive, it wasn't the money that made his family cry. It was the thoughtfulness. To them, it wasn't about the millions. It was about realizing how deeply he cared and how much he wanted to leave the world a better place, not for recognition, not for headlines, but simply because it mattered to him. Today, Chumlee continues to make appearances, run his businesses, and connect with fans from around the world, but his family will never forget the quiet, beautiful legacy he prepared for them. A fortune built not just of dollars, but of love. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more incredible celebrity stories, shocking revelations, and behind-the-scenes secrets. Thanks for watching.